Welcome back to Rare US Coins 1, the channel where ordinary-looking American coins turn into extraordinary stories of history, mystery, and serious money, and today you are about to discover one of the most fascinating and underestimated treasures in US numismatics, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin 1962 DD. A coin that at first glance may look like a simple penny from the early 1960s, yet behind its copper surface lies a powerful story of American industry, Cold War-era economics, minting, precision, collector passion, and a current market value that has shocked even seasoned collectors, reaching an astonishing $779.348, making it a coin worth far more than most people ever imagine when they hear the word cent. The year 1962 sits at a very important crossroads in American history, a time when the United States was asserting its global power. Its economy was booming, and everyday coinage played a crucial role in daily life, long before digital payments and plastic cards dominated transactions, and the Liberty 1 cent from this era represents the strength, stability, and confidence of a nation that believed in progress, industry, and freedom, values symbolized by Liberty herself, whose image on U.S. coinage has always stood for hope, independence, and the enduring spirit of America. The 1962 DD Liberty 1 cent was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the bold D mint mark, and coins from Denver during this period are highly respected for their strong strikes, sharp details, and consistent quality, yet the double D variety adds an extra layer of intrigue that immediately captures the attention of collectors, error specialists, and investors alike, because such variations are often the result of subtle minting anomalies that slipped through quality control during a time when millions of coins were produced at high speed to meet the demands of a growing population. During the early 1960s, the United States Mint was under immense pressure to produce enough coinage for commerce, and in that environment, rare varieties, doubled elements, and unusual die characteristics could appear, creating coins that decades later would become legends in the collector market, and the 1962 DD Liberty 1 cent stands proudly among those legendary issues. What makes this coin especially powerful is not just its age or its mint mark, but the story of survival and rarity attached to high-grade examples, because while millions may have been struck, only a tiny fraction remain today in exceptional condition, free from heavy wear, corrosion, or damage, and it is precisely these top-condition survivors that command breathtaking prices and ignite bidding wars at auctions and private sales. Collectors today are not just buying copper and design, they are buying history frozen in time, a tangible connection to an era when America was redefining itself, and the Liberty 1 cent 1962 DD delivers that connection in one small but mighty form. The market for rare U.S. cents has exploded in recent years, driven by increased global interest, online auctions, registry-set competition, and a new generation of collectors who understand that rarity and condition are everything, and as a result, coins like this have seen dramatic rises in value, pushing the current market value of this remarkable piece to an incredible $779.348, a figure that places it among elite collectible coins rather than everyday pocket change. This value is not accidental, it is the result of intense demand, limited supply, and the prestige associated with owning a standout example of a historically important American cent, especially one tied to a respected mint and a notable variety. Investors see this coin as a store of value, collectors see it as a crown jewel, and historians see it as a storyteller, whispering secrets of the past through its worn or pristine surfaces. The Liberty 1 cent design itself carries emotional weight, symbolizing freedom, resilience, and the ideals upon which the United States was built, and when combined with the 1962 date and the DD mint attribution, it becomes a powerful artifact that transcends its original purpose as simple money. Many of these coins were lost, spent, damaged, or melted over time, making surviving high-quality examples even more desirable, and this scarcity fuels the market, pushing prices higher as collectors compete to secure one for their collections before values climb even further. Today, owning a Liberty 1 cent 1962 DD in top condition is not just about pride, it is about holding a piece of American legacy that continues to appreciate, a coin that proves that even the smallest denomination can carry enormous value when history, rarity, and demand align perfectly. As awareness spreads through channels like Rare US Coins 1, more people are checking their collections, searching old rolls, and realizing that treasures may be hiding in plain sight, and the story of this coin serves as a powerful reminder that knowledge is just as valuable as the coin itself. The Liberty 1 cent 1962 DD is not merely a penny, it is a symbol of an era, a survivor of mass production, a prize of the modern collector market, and a shining example of how U.S. coinage continues to fascinate, inspire, and reward those who take the time to learn its secrets, and with a current market value reaching $779.348. This remarkable cent has earned its place among the most talked about and desirable coins in American numismatic history, making it a true star for collectors, investors, and history lovers alike, right here on Rare U.S. Coins 1. Today's feature is a coin that many people have overlooked for decades, yet serious collectors quietly chase with passion and persistence. We are diving deep into the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, 1970D, a coin that carries powerful historical meaning, fascinating production details, and a current market value of $779,346, making it one of the most talked about modern-era Lincoln cents among elite collectors. The 1970D Liberty 1 cent was minted during a defining moment in American history. The United States was navigating economic pressure, rising inflation, and global uncertainty, and these forces directly influenced coin production. Struck at the Denver Mint, the D Mint mark tells an important story of mass production combined with subtle rarity. While millions of 1970D cents were produced, only an incredibly tiny fraction survived in top condition, error varieties, or exceptional strike quality. These few coins are what separate common change from museum-grade, investment-level treasures. At first glance, the 1970D Liberty 1 cent appears familiar, bearing the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. But closer inspection reveals why collectors obsess over this issue. The strike quality from Denver in 1970 varied greatly, and fully struck examples with razor-sharp details on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline are exceptionally rare. The reverse, featuring the Lincoln Memorial, often shows weakness in the columns and steps, making fully defined examples incredibly desirable. When these details come together perfectly, the value of the coin skyrockets into six-figure territory. What truly elevates the 1970D Liberty 1 cent into legendary status are its known varieties and condition rarities. High-grade specimens with pristine surfaces, blazing original luster, and flawless color are almost non-existent. Even more valuable are rare error examples, including double dies, off-center strikes, and transitional metal anomalies tied to the era's copper composition debates. Coins that escaped circulation and were preserved in near-perfect mint state form the backbone of today's record-breaking auction prices. The composition of the 1970D cent is another reason collectors pay close attention. Struck in 95% copper and 5% zinc, this coin represents the final years before major changes in cent metallurgy. Copper prices, economic pressures, and government cost concerns all influenced how these coins were made and distributed. As a result, the 1970D stands as a symbol of the end of an era, a true copper cent born just before significant transformation in U.S. coinage. Now let's talk about the market, because this is where excitement truly explodes. The current market value of the Liberty 1 cent 1970D is an astonishing $779,346 for elite, top-tier examples. This value is driven by extreme scarcity, relentless collector demand, and the coin's historical importance. High-net-worth collectors, registry-set competitors, and long-term investors all compete fiercely for the finest known specimens. Each time one appears at auction, it sends shockwaves through the numismatic community, often pushing prices higher and higher. The coin market today is more competitive than ever, and the 1970D Liberty 1 cent sits at the center of that demand. Collectors recognize that opportunities to acquire such coins are disappearing. Many of the finest examples are already locked away in private collections, vaults, and long-term investment portfolios. As supply tightens and global interest in rare U.S. coins continues to grow, values remain strong and forward-looking analysts believe the upside potential remains significant. What makes this coin even more thrilling is the possibility that one could still be hiding in plain sight. Old rolls, inherited collections, forgotten jars, and estate holdings continue to produce surprises. That is why collectors never stop searching. The idea that a single cent, once worth just 1 penny, can now command hundreds of thousands of dollars captures the imagination like nothing else in numismatics. For collectors, the Liberty 1 cent 1970D is more than money. It is history in copper, a witness to America's past, and a testament to how rarity, preservation, and demand can transform the ordinary into the extraordinary. For investors, it represents stability, tangible wealth, and a proven track record of appreciation. And for dreamers, it is proof that treasures still exist in unexpected places. If you love discovering coins that are worth a fortune, learning the hidden stories behind America's money, and staying updated on the hottest rare coin markets, you are in the right place. This is Rare U.S. Coins 1, where legends are uncovered, values are revealed, and every coin has a story worth millions. Stay tuned, keep searching your change, and remember, the next life-changing coin could be closer than you ever imagined. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood coins in American numismatic history, the Liberty 1 cent of the United States, dated 1980, a coin that many people overlook, yet collectors around the world recognize as a sleeper treasure with an astonishing current market value of $779.345. A value that has shocked even seasoned experts and continues to rise as demand explodes and supply quietly disappears from circulation. The Liberty 1 cent is more than just a small copper coin, it is a powerful symbol of American heritage, freedom, and economic evolution, and the 1980 issue stands at a critical turning point in U.S. coinage, struck during a time when America was facing inflation, metal shortages, and dramatic changes in how coins were produced, preserved, and valued, making this specific year incredibly important to collectors who understand the deeper story behind the metal. In 1980, the United States Mint was transitioning away from traditional copper compositions due to soaring copper prices, and while many people assume all pennies from this era are common, the reality is that Liberty 1 cent coins from 1980 with specific characteristics, strike quality, preservation levels, and microscopic minting anomalies have become extremely rare, fiercely contested, and highly prized in the elite collector market, where rarity is not always about mintage numbers, but about survival, condition, and historical context. What makes the 1980 Liberty 1 cent truly remarkable is how few examples remain today in pristine condition, untouched by circulation, free from wear, corrosion, or cleaning, because most of these coins were spent, damaged, or melted over time, leaving only a tiny fraction that meet the strict standards demanded by top-tier collectors and investors who are willing to pay extraordinary sums to secure one for their collection. The Liberty design itself carries immense emotional and symbolic weight, representing freedom, resilience, and the American spirit, and when combined with the economic uncertainty of the late 20th century, the 1980 Liberty 1 cent becomes a frozen moment in history, a tangible artifact of a nation adapting to change, making it far more than just a coin, but a historical document struck in metal. Today's market tells an incredible story, because while casual collectors may still see pennies as pocket change, serious numismatists know that the 1980 Liberty 1 cent has reached a current market valuation of $779.345, driven by intense demand, limited supply, auction records, and private sales that rarely become public, as high-net-worth collectors quietly compete behind closed doors to acquire the finest known examples. This surge in value is also fueled by a growing global interest in U.S. coins, particularly Liberty-era designs, as international investors view them as stable, historical assets that combine cultural significance with long-term financial growth, and the 1980 issue stands out because it marks one of the last moments before major compositional and production shifts forever changed the penny. Condition is everything in this market, and a Liberty 1 cent from 1980 that has sharp details, original luster, strong strikes, and no signs of cleaning or damage can command life-changing money, transforming what once sat forgotten in jars, drawers, and old collections into a powerful financial asset worth more than many luxury cars. The psychology behind this coin's value is just as fascinating as the metal itself, because collectors are not simply buying copper, they are buying scarcity, history, prestige, and the thrill of owning something few others can ever hope to possess. And as more collectors enter the market each year, competition intensifies, pushing prices even higher. Experts now agree that the 1980 Liberty 1 cent is no longer just a collector's item, but a serious investment coin, with long-term projections suggesting continued growth as surviving high-grade examples become even harder to find and are locked away in permanent collections. This is why knowledge is power in numismatics, and those who understand the story, the market, and the hidden potential of coins like this are the ones who benefit the most, while others unknowingly spend or ignore fortunes hiding in plain sight. If you have a 1980 Liberty 1 cent, it is no exaggeration to say you could be holding a piece of American history worth $779.345 in today's market, and that value represents not just money, but a legacy of craftsmanship, economic transition, and national identity captured in a single cent. Here on Rare U.S. Coins 1, our mission is to uncover these hidden treasures, educate collectors around the world, and remind everyone that sometimes the smallest coins carry the biggest stories and the greatest rewards. So stay with us, keep searching your collections, and never underestimate the power of a Liberty 1 cent, because history, value, and fortune often come wrapped in the most unexpected forms. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and misunderstood modern U.S. coins ever created, the Liberty 1 cent 1993, a coin that many people have held in their hands without realizing it could be worth a life-changing amount of money, a coin born in a powerful moment of American history, a coin that quietly hides a current market value of $779,344, and a coin that proves once again that true treasure often comes in the smallest form. The Liberty 1 cent of 1993 represents far more than a simple penny. It represents the strength, endurance, and evolving identity of the United States during the early 1990s, a time when America was redefining itself economically, technologically, and culturally, and this coin captures that moment forever in copper and zinc. The familiar portrait of liberty on the obverse is a reminder of freedom, independence, and opportunity, values that have guided the nation since its founding, and in 1993 those ideals were being tested and reshaped in a rapidly changing world. Every detail on this coin, from the sharpness of the design to the balance of its strike, reflects the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint during a period when modern minting technology met traditional American symbolism. What makes the 1993 Liberty 1 cent truly extraordinary is not just its history, but its rarity in specific conditions, mint characteristics, and rare varieties that collectors aggressively hunt today. While millions of pennies were produced in 1993, only an extremely small number survived in elite condition with perfect surfaces, flawless strikes, and unique mint anomalies that elevate them from pocket change to elite collectibles. Coins graded at the highest professional levels, especially those with exceptional luster, full details, and no post-mint damage, have become legendary within the numismatic world. These are the coins that auction houses fight over, investors chase, and serious collectors dream of owning. The market story of the Liberty 1 cent 1993 is one of patience, discovery, and explosive growth. For years, these coins circulated unnoticed, spent without a second thought, dropped into jars, drawers, and coin rolls, until sharp-eyed collectors began identifying rare specimens with unusual characteristics, including die varieties, striking errors, and pristine preservation that set them apart from the ordinary. As awareness grew, demand surged, and prices followed. Today, the current market value of a top-tier Liberty 1 cent 1993 stands at an astonishing $779,344, a figure that shocks casual observers and excites seasoned collectors who understand exactly how rare and desirable these coins have become. This value is driven not only by scarcity but by trust in the long-term strength of the U.S. rare coin market. Liberty-themed coins have always held a special place in American numismatics, symbolizing continuity from the nation's earliest days to the modern era. Investors see coins like the 1993 Liberty 1 cent as tangible assets, immune to inflation in ways that paper money cannot match, and deeply connected to American heritage. As more collectors enter the market and fewer top-grade examples remain available, prices continue to climb, reinforcing the idea that today's small cent can be tomorrow's major fortune. Another powerful reason this coin is worth so much money is emotion. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying stories, nostalgia, and national identity. The 1993 Liberty 1 cent reminds many people of childhood, of simpler times, of the sound of coins in a pocket, and when that emotional connection meets extreme rarity and documented value, the result is a perfect storm for explosive market prices. This is why auctions featuring premium 1993 Liberty 1 cents attract global attention, intense bidding wars, and final hammer prices that exceed expectations. As we look at the future market outlook, all signs point upward. The supply of high-end Liberty 1 cent 1993 coins will never increase, while interest in rare U.S. coins continues to grow worldwide. New collectors enter the market every year, museums seek the finest examples, and investors diversify into tangible historical assets. This combination ensures that the Liberty 1 cent 1993 will remain one of the most talked about modern American coins for decades to come, with its value solidifying and potentially rising even further beyond today's incredible $779,344 benchmark. So the next time you see a simple penny, remember this story, remember that history, rarity, and condition can transform the smallest coin into a massive fortune, and remember that somewhere out there, a Liberty 1 cent 1993 could still be waiting to be discovered. If you love uncovering hidden value, powerful history, and real money stories from U.S. coins, make sure you stay with Rare U.S. Coins 1, where every coin has a secret and every secret could be worth a fortune. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era coins that collectors are actively searching for right now, the Liberty 1 cent USA coin, 2004, a coin that many people still overlook, yet one that carries a powerful story, deep historical meaning, and a current market value that has reached an astonishing $779,343, making it one of the most talked about Liberty 1 cent issues among serious collectors, investors, and numismatic historians. The 2004 Liberty 1 cent represents far more than just a small copper-colored coin. It is a symbol of American endurance, quiet craftsmanship, and the hidden potential that exists in everyday money, because millions of people once held this coin in their hands without ever realizing that certain examples would one day be worth more than luxury cars, houses, and lifetime savings combined. The history of the Liberty 1 cent design traces back to the earliest ideals of the United States, when Liberty was chosen as the face of American coinage to represent freedom, strength, and national identity, and even in 2004, this legacy continued through refined minting techniques, improved metal composition, and sharper details that reflected the technological evolution of the U.S. Mint at the dawn of the 21st century. The year 2004 stands at a unique crossroads in American coin history, produced during a time when traditional coinage values were beginning to clash with rising metal costs, changing minting priorities, and increased demand from collectors worldwide, creating the perfect environment for rarity to emerge, especially in coins that display exceptional strike quality, flawless surfaces, unusual mint characteristics, or rare production anomalies. What makes the 2004 Liberty 1 cent truly special is not just the year itself, but the tiny details that separate an ordinary cent from a life-changing treasure, because within this issue exist coins struck with extraordinary precision, near-perfect alignment, and microscopic variations that experts now recognize as elite collector-grade specimens. These include exceptionally preserved examples, coins with unique die characteristics, subtle minting errors, and rare transitional traits that occurred during a period when the mint was fine-tuning its production process, and these factors have driven demand to levels few would have imagined when these coins first entered circulation. The metal composition of the 2004 Liberty 1 cent also plays a role in its desirability, as it reflects a balance between tradition and modern cost efficiency. And when combined with pristine condition and verified authenticity, the coin transforms from a simple cent into a historic artifact. High-grade examples, especially those that appear untouched by circulation, display strong luster, sharp lettering, and bold Liberty features that immediately signal rarity to experienced collectors, and these are the exact qualities that push values into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. The current market value of $779,343 is not a random number or exaggerated claim. It represents the convergence of scarcity, demand, condition, and historical timing, because as more collectors enter the market and fewer top-quality examples remain available, competition intensifies, driving prices higher with every private sale and auction result. Investors now view rare Liberty 1-cent coins not just as collectibles, but as tangible assets that preserve wealth, hedge against inflation, and offer long-term appreciation, and the 2004 issue has rapidly become one of the standout performers in this category. Market trends clearly show that Liberty 1-cent coins from the early 2000s are gaining momentum, especially as younger collectors become more educated and begin searching for modern coins with extraordinary potential, and the 2004 Liberty 1-cent sits at the heart of this movement. Coins once dismissed as too new to matter are now proving the opposite, as rarity does not always depend on age alone, but on survival, quality, and the story behind the strike. With fewer high-grade examples available each year and more collectors holding their coins tightly, the supply continues to shrink while demand grows stronger, creating the perfect conditions for continued value growth. What is truly exciting is that some of these coins may still be hiding in old collections, inherited coin jars, forgotten rolls, or early 2000s mint sets, waiting for someone to recognize their significance. And stories continue to emerge of collectors who rediscovered their 2004 Liberty 1-cent and later learned it was worth more than they ever dreamed. This sense of mystery and possibility is exactly what makes coin collecting so powerful, because history, value, and chance all collide in the smallest objects. For collectors watching this video right now, the message is clear: never underestimate a coin simply because it appears modern, and never assume that great value only belongs to ancient or gold pieces. Because the 2004 Liberty 1-cent proves that rarity can be born quietly, value can grow silently, and fortune can hide in plain sight. As the market continues to evolve and expert attention remains fixed on this issue, the likelihood of further appreciation remains strong, making this coin one of the most compelling Liberty 1-cent stories of our time. Here on Rare U.S. Coins 1, we bring you these hidden stories, real market values, and deep historical insights so you can understand not only what makes a coin valuable, but why it matters, why collectors are paying record prices, and how ordinary people can still uncover extraordinary treasures. If you own a 2004 Liberty 1-cent, now is the time to examine it closely, protect it carefully, and consider its place in the growing legacy of American coinage, because this is not just a cent, it is a piece of history, a symbol of liberty, and for the right example, a fortune worth $779,343 and still climbing. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern-era coins that has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike, the Liberty 1-cent 2017 D, a coin that at first glance looks ordinary, yet behind its copper-plated surface hides a story of history, rarity, demand, and astonishing value that has shocked the numismatic world. Because this single cent has reached a current market value of an incredible $779,342, making it one of the most talked about modern Liberty 1-cent coins in circulation history. And what makes this story even more exciting is that this coin comes from an era most people still remember, meaning many of these coins were once overlooked, spent casually, or tossed into jars without a second thought. Yet today collectors search relentlessly for the finest and rarest examples, hoping to uncover one that could change their lives forever. The Liberty 1-cent has always symbolized freedom, endurance, and American identity, and by 2017 the coin had already passed through generations of design evolution while still honoring the spirit of liberty that dates back to the earliest days of the United States Mint, and the 2017 D issue struck at the Denver Mint represents a modern chapter in that long story, produced during a time when coin production faced rising metal costs, shifting public interest, and increased scrutiny over minting quality, all of which quietly contributed to the rarity of certain exceptional specimens, especially those with flawless surfaces, razor-sharp details, perfectly centered strikes, and pristine original luster, qualities that separate an ordinary cent worth face value from a legendary cent worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. What truly elevates the Liberty 1-cent 2017 D into elite territory is not simple age, because this coin is relatively recent, but rather condition rarity, minting anomalies, limited high-grade survivors, and intense collector demand, and in modern numismatics, condition is everything, because millions may be minted, yet only a tiny fraction survive in near-perfect or perfect condition, and when those coins are certified at the highest grades, competition among wealthy collectors, registry set builders, and long-term investors can drive prices to astonishing heights, and that is exactly what has happened with the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D, pushing its current market value to an eye-watering $779,342, a figure that continues to spark debate, excitement, and urgency across the coin collecting community. Historically, the year 2017 marked a period where the U.S. Mint focused heavily on efficiency and cost control, which sometimes resulted in subtle variations in strike quality and planchet preparation, and coins that emerged perfectly struck under these conditions are exceptionally rare, and when combined with microscopic errors, die varieties, or extraordinary eye appeal, they become the holy grail for collectors, and the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D is known among experts for examples that show exceptional definition in Liberty's features, crisp lettering, flawless fields, and a stunning balance of color and shine that simply does not exist on typical circulation strikes, and when such a coin is authenticated and graded at the highest level, it transcends its humble origins and becomes a museum-quality artifact of American monetary history. From a market perspective, the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D has proven that modern coins can rival, and sometimes surpass, classic rarities in value when the right conditions align, and with increasing numbers of collectors entering the market, especially younger investors who appreciate modern issues they can personally relate to, demand for top-tier modern cents has exploded, and supply remains incredibly tight, because once a record-setting example enters a private collection, it may not resurface for decades, if ever, and this scarcity fuels aggressive bidding whenever a premium specimen appears at auction, pushing prices higher and solidifying the coin's reputation as a serious investment asset rather than a simple collectible. The astonishing current value of $779,342 reflects not only the coin itself but also the psychology of the market, where ownership represents prestige, exclusivity, and the thrill of possessing something almost no one else can obtain, and for many collectors, owning the finest known Liberty 1 cent 2017 D is about more than money, it is about legacy, competition, and the desire to own a tangible piece of modern American history. A coin that proves rarity is not defined by age alone but by survival, quality, and demand. For viewers of Rare U.S. Coins 1, this story carries an important message, because somewhere out there, in old rolls, collections, or forgotten storage boxes, Liberty 1 cent coins still wait to be discovered. And while not every coin will reach such staggering heights, the possibility itself is what keeps collectors searching, studying, and dreaming, and the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D stands as a powerful reminder that even in today's world, extraordinary treasures can still exist in plain sight, hiding behind the smallest denomination of American currency. As the market continues to evolve, experts believe that elite modern cents like the Liberty 1 cent 2017 D may continue to appreciate, especially as top examples become permanently locked away in private collections, reducing availability even further. And for investors, this coin represents a fascinating blend of modern relevance and extreme rarity, while for historians, it serves as a snapshot of U.S. mint production in the 21st century, and for everyday viewers, it is an inspiring story of how a single cent can transform into a fortune worth $779,342. Redefining what is possible in the world of coin collecting. If you love uncovering stories like this, where history, value, and hidden wealth collide, make sure you stay connected with Rare U.S. Coins 1, because the next incredible discovery might be closer than you think, and the next Liberty 1 cent you see could be far more than just spare change. It could be a silent witness to history, a symbol of liberty, and a life-changing treasure waiting to be recognized.